Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakdown Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Corey, and with me once again to break down the latest episode of The Masked Singer, it's Vic.
What's going on?
Before we get started, we do want to let you know we have a live show that we do every Tuesday. That's at twitch.tv/MillerKing_51. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern. Come by, hang out with us, and join the chat. Currently talking The Flash as well as Moon Knight. And if you can't join us, you can go to Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify, where we have all the episodes recorded there and available. And if you haven't already, we would appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button and leave us some comments. Let us know what you thought. Let us know your guesses. And hit the thumbs up for to let us know we're doing a good job and that this was an episode. Because all of that does help us out.
That this was an episode, you didn't imagine it.
Yes. You gotta find a reason.
I love it.
It's like if you're breathing, hit the thumbs up button. Let us know you're breathing. So without further ado, let's break it down.
All right, this episode of The Masked Singer, remaining in the fight for Group 3 is the Frog, the Queen Cobras, and the Space Bunny. These three from the start, I said we're going to be the three in the finals for this group. I was not incorrect. However, things turned out differently than I thought. So let's start out with the Prince. We got some new clues for him. They had Carnegie Hall, sheet music, which denotes someone that either sings or plays instruments. A watch that was set to a time that I could not tell what it was, and I'm assuming that may be something important, so I would love to figure out what that is, but every time I tried to pause it, I could never get it to pause directly on that spot.
Yeah, the pause
just before or just after, and I couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah, the pause feature on Hulu is not the best.
Yeah. The stage performer, as obviously they mentioned something about him being a stage performer. So this is someone who's probably like Broadway or something like that. Or who just like sings in general, like a professional singer that's filled Carnegie Hall or something like that. So this kind of pulls me out of my Steph Curry answer. And even more so because, I was trying to figure. I'm like, okay, so this clue package doesn't say Steph Curry at all in any way, shape, or form. But I was like, so the only other thing I have that's a solid clue is Jamie Lee Curtis. So I was like, okay, whoever this is probably in a movie with Jamie Lee Curtis. So I went to Jamie Lee Curtis and I started looking through all of her like her filmography on Google, on Wikipedia, and I then got completely fucking distracted because, and I don't know if you know this or not. Did you know that they made a Borderlands movie and it's in post-production right now?
Yes, Jack Black is playing the little robot.
He's playing Claptrap. Do you know that Jamie Lee Curtis is in it?
No, I did not.
Jamie Lee Curtis is in this movie, so it's like, okay, this is that. Like, I just started. I got completely distracted from what I was actually doing. I was just completely like enthralled with reading everything about this Borderlands movie, what they're doing, and who's in it.
Focus.
Yeah, I couldn't because I was like, damn, they made a Borderlands movie. This is going to be kind of cool. So that rabbit hole I went down lasted for about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, because then I was like, okay, I need to get back on track. I need to focus, as Corey was saying. I need to find a way to connect somebody in this movie to this. And I was like, I have no clue. So this could have been any movie with Jamie Lee Curtis in it, but this is the only one that I concentrated on. So here's the list of characters for this movie. This is going to be a kind of a tangent because one, I like the idea that they made this movie, and two, you know who all's in it besides Jack Black?
No,
Kate Blanchett's in it.
Okay.
She's playing Lilith.
I'm probably not going to like the casting regardless.
Kevin Hart's in it. He's playing Roland.
I don't even remember the names of the characters, to be honest with you.
Jack Black. Roland is the like fast talking jackass guy, the Vault Hunter guy.
Oh yeah.
So that we don't really see him. I mean, we do see him quite often, but I was like, Kevin Hart is that character, and I don't know if this is animated or not. It might be animated, and if it is, then I guess it doesn't matter who the hell's doing who. But Jack Black is Claptrap, like you said. Jamie Lee Curtis is Dr. Tanis. Now, I wrote down like the whole list of all the characters, and obviously I put a no next to each one of them. So Kevin Hart's a no, Jack Black's a no, Jamie Lee Curtis no, because she's the clue. Ariana Greenblatt is Tiny Tina, and she's a little kid. So
I don't know who that is.
It's definitely not her. She's a Disney star kid. It's a kid.
Take your word for it.
Again, I literally looked at each one of these people to see if they fit any of these clues. It's ridiculous.
All right, focus, Vic. Focus.
Okay. Florian Montu is Krieg. He's a big German guy. Doesn't fit the body type. Haley Bennett, no, female. And I don't think the frog is a woman. Edgar Ramirez is Atlas. Maybe. Kind of fits the body type.
It could be Jack Black.
No, not. She's too thin. Too thin. Oliver Ricker as Crom. I don't know who he is, so no. Jamie, I don't know. Somebody named Knox, Commander Knox.
The further you get down the list, I'm guessing it's not going to be them.
No, I found the person, though.
So, did you?
Yes, I think. Maybe. So this is a fucking long shot. But things kind of fit. There's a guy named Chaney Jackson, okay? It's actually Cheyenne Jackson, but I don't know if that's how he actually calls himself, but that's how it's spelled. This guy was on Glee. He was the head, you know how the one dude was the teacher of the main school in Glee? Their main rival, he was their teacher on there. So he was in Glee, okay? So that fits because people in Glee seem to like the show. He's a singer, so that makes sense because this guy can obviously sing. He did play out Carnegie Hall. He sold out Carnegie Hall. So that fits. Like his Wikipedia hits several things, but this is the one thing, because remember I was locked in on the blue and the gold and the number 30? And I was like, that's why it's Steph Curry. That was my only answer. This guy was on 30 Rock also, which I never watched, but it's in his credits on Wikipedia, which could be the reference to 30 and not just the blue and yellow, but 30 Rock, him being on 30 Rock. So this guy fits a few of the things. And since Steph Curry was my only other answer, I'm going to go with that guy as the frog.
Okay.
Long answer, but that's what I'm going to go with.
I'm going to give a shorter answer.
Okay,
I actually have a guess.
Okay.
And I'm locking this one in.
Okay.
Boomer's going to be happy with this one. That's already a spoiler for you.
Are you going with Jared Leto?
I'm going with Jared Leto.
What?
And here's why.
Give it to me.
Here's why.
Give me the clues, buddy.
In this clue package, there are bats that fly through the screen.
Yes.
That fly over.
He's tangled up in bats, correct.
Okay. He played Joker.
Okay.
And was in, and did that. He also said he's from a small town. Jared Leto is from Bossier City, Louisiana. I'm willing to bet that's a small town. He also said that music is not his first, the clue package showed him writing music.
Right.
He has a band called 30 Seconds to Mars.
There's your
It
30.
also showed a watch. Which you couldn't figure out the time.
Because they only showed the seconds hands.
You pointed out the 30 in the other clue package. 30 Seconds to Mars.
30 seconds, nice.
It's Jared Leto.
Hold on.
Welcome to the Masked Singer, Jared Leto.
And in the first clue package, the exercise thing, there was a rock with a that said Mars on it. If I remember correctly.
Was there?
Yeah, there was a like a medicine ball or a boulder or something that it was red and it said Mars on it. So 30 seconds.
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Nice. That's some good sleuth in there, my friend.
Welcome to the Masked Singer, Jared Leto.
So, oh man, that's some good sleuth in there. I like it. Now
the connection to Jamie Lee Curtis, I got no idea because they have not been in a movie together. but maybe they know each other, and
Maybe.
that's why. I don't know. I mean, he's done horror movies as well too.
I like your answer.
Plus the bats thing too could also be a clue to Morbius.
Oh, dude, that's some solid shit right there.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I just don't think it could be Jared Leto because he's too short.
Who?
Jared Leto is not that tall. That frog is tall as shit.
Jared Leto's tall.
He's not tall. He's not that tall. Is he?
I think so.
Look up and see how tall he is for me, because I don't think he's that tall. But
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's something that's going to show on IMDb.
Here's what I'm going to say. You just type in how tall is Jared Leto, it'll come up. Trust me.
Oh, you think Google's going to be actually right?
How tall is Jared Leto, and it will give you the answer. Okay. Trust my Google Foo, my friend. But I like your answers are solid, dude. I like it. But I'm gonna stick to Cheyenne Jackson just because I forced myself into a rabbit hole that I could not back out of, and I can't not stick to this. So I am going to lock in Cheyenne Jackson just because I'm an idiot.
According to Google, he's 5'11".
That's not tall, my friend. That's not
taller than me.
That's not as tall. Like you can see, like look and see how tall that the frog is to what's his name? Nick, and that kind of gives you your answer. But
I forgot to mention. We forgot to mention that in this episode, Nick comes out sporting a nice neck piece that he won in the divorce from Mariah Carey. So
he's like, I got it, so I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah,
it was literally why is he wearing a brooch?
Why is he wearing that? What is he doing?
No.
Did he get dressed in the dark?
I don't know, dude. But when he came out with that, I was like, what does he have? Holy shit. What is that? Why are you wearing that? Because it literally does look like something he just took off of Mariah's jewelry box. But speaking of that, Space Buddy comes out and noticed it too. Space Buddy was like, ooh,
Space Buddy's got a jacket for it.
That's some nice bling. I'm taking that from you. That was cracking me up when I saw that. I was like, damn, that bunny wants his bling. But he's like, how many carats is that? Yeah, you like that? Dad joke, baby. But yeah, so next up is Space Bunny. Was he next? Yeah, yep. Space Bunny was next. And he comes out. They do his clue package. Right from the start, they're playing on some things. Says he's from a tiny borough, which means he's from a small place. And I'm going to run down some more of these clues because Jenny kind of hit on something, but she was completely wrong. They brought up a crown, like a king's crown. Said his mom moved him to a fast-paced city where he was at. He was getting into, all his friends were getting into a lot of trouble. So he had to walk his own path. The men in black, one of them had two angels on his shoulders, which and then one of them was carrying a boombox. He left a trail to remember where he came from, which is remember that. And then there was a drill, which I'm not sure what the drill has to do with anything other than my other guess about him being a Marine maybe had to do with like a drill sergeant or something. But
I thought it was a euphemism for something else.
Okay. We'll get to that in a minute. We're gonna let that one marinate for a second. So again, I have predicted that this is Shaggy. Corey has predicted that it's Harry Belafonte Jr., which I'm
sticking with it.
I still don't know how you think that
No, I'll be totally honest. I was gonna stick with it. I wasn't gonna change because I thought it'd be funnier that way. But I did think it was gonna end up being Shaggy.
So here's some things that this clue package puts into perspective, right? So tiny burrow. So tiny burrow is a burrow is where a rabbit lives. A burrow is also a area of New York City. But a tiny is actually the part of it. So he comes from a tiny place, which Jamaica is a tiny place. It's a small island. The crown that they talk about, Jenny says, who did she say it was?
She said
it
was
Sean Kingston, right?
Sean Kingston,
and she's like, there's a crown, and Kingston, a king crown, Kingston. I'm like, okay, that's not a bad connection, but she's wrong. Because it's not Kingston as in Sean Kingston. It's Kingston as in Kingston, Jamaica,
Jamaica.
which is where Shaggy was born. So you move that to where he ends up. His mom moved them from Jamaica to Brooklyn, New York, which is a common place between Queens and Brooklyn. That's where most Jamaicans end up when they move to the U.S. So he moved to Brooklyn, and that's where he was getting into trouble. Like, his friends were all getting arrested and sent to jail. And that's when he was like, yeah, I don't want to end up there. And that's when he joined the Marines. And that's why I think like the drill maybe has something to do with the drill sergeant or something like that.
Okay.
Again, they like making references to his songs. So Caught Red-Handed, Angel. It's a big thing.
I don't know that song.
It's a big thing for him. Boombastic is a line in his Mr. Boombastic, like that whole thing in there.
Logo.
That hits up the boombox portion of it. Maybe like it's a little loose, but I'm gonna go with it because, I mean, it is boom and then B, so for box and boombastic, whatever. Anyway, it just fits. It's Shaggy. I've said this from like, I don't know how long now, but it's definitely Shaggy. And it's been locked in forever. So that's where we're at with that. And you
then
have given up on Harry Belafonte Jr. Thank God.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I was seriously going to keep going with it because I thought it was funny. But I mean, deep down, I knew there's no way it was him.
Yeah. Especially after he just started talking in general, like when he was talking about stealing his bling. I was like, "There's no way in hell that Harry Belafonte Jr. is talking about jacking a man's goods."
And it's hard times right now,
that man is 80 plus years old. On top of that, he ain't moving that good. I don't care who you are. There's very few people in this world that at 80 plus years old can move the way that bunny was moving while he was singing.
Yeah.
Singing sure. Movement, no.
So yeah, I did switch it to Shaggy, and then finally we had Cobra, and we found out in the very beginning. If you notice in the beginning of the episode, when they're saying all the different characters that are left, when they showed Cobra, there were 3 of them, but they hadn't shown 3 of them yet.
No, when they first showed them, there was only 2.
No.
When they first showed like the vignettes of each one of them, they showed the prince.
Not the vignette part.
No, but that's the same. In the vignette, they only showed 2. But when they came to this part, when they came to the like starting the conversation with them, there were 3. So
yeah, when they said this week we've got the prince, the frog, and then he's doing his little thing, and then when they said the Cobra, there were 3 of them standing there, and I was like, wait a minute, you just gave something away right there. Because we, as of now, I mean, you and I have already suspected that it was more than 2, but they gave it away right there. And because then when they came out and started singing, and I think Nick actually said it right before they started singing, and that's when the judges were like, There's 3?
No, they're like, I bet there's going to be 3 this time.
Yeah.
I'm like, we don't know how many there are. There's so many of them. But like at the beginning of it, when they first brought them out, I was like, all right, like just knowing how well this group sings and like the way they were harmonizing and vocalizing and like, dude, they were rocking that shit the entire time. And like I put in there, I said they're going to win this round and the whole thing. That's what I said. Like the first thing I have on my notes is they're going to win this round all the way. But then in the clue package, they're talking about there being 3 of them. And like
they said we originally started out as we used to be a group of 3, and I'm like, or we started out as 3. I'm like, no, you didn't. You started out as 4. Right. Did you forget about Dawn?
Right.
I mean, come on.
And it says each of us with a wicked amount of talent. It shows a book with Charlie's Angels on it. So that's what denoted 3. And then
I'm surprised Ken didn't say that it was Demi Moore and right. Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore.
Right. But then it says Solid Dark Magic. And then it said chili peppers. They were chili peppers in a bowl was the image for it. And I was like, okay, Solid Dark Magic. That one didn't kick anything for me.
The chili peppers were in reference to a song.
Maybe. That one I'm not sure of.
They put it at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, did they? I didn't see that. They said that they all tried different things. So that was like when they kind of broke up and went their own way and were trying to do their own solo things. The picture of the 3 divas, so it's Beyonce, Celine Dion, and Ariana Grande playing saxophone. And then they show the man in black sits down and he's got a saxophone and on there too. And I'm like, okay.
And they said that clue was for Funky Divas, which I believe was the name of one of their albums.
Which makes
but
sense.
I don't see how you get Funky Divas out of
well,
that.
I mean, when you think about saxophone, I think jazz, not funk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's two different genres, so that didn't play like at all.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a red herring because they did it twice. So the three divas in the picture were playing saxophone, and then they brought him out with a saxophone. So like I didn't think it was a red herring, but I didn't like funk is not what I would have gotten out of that. If they had like a synth guitar, but they all had like synth guitars, like that would maybe give me like a funk vibe. But yeah, that definitely. Yeah. Again, when they're singing, there are 6 of them. And they're kind of going back and forth, and then there's the one on the stage singing. So again, as I said last week, there were a total of 6 In Vogue members over the course of time. So I think that was kind of denouncing the 6 of them, but there were only the 3 that were there. And then it said that their favorite play was The Wiz. But
which I don't know, or I know that there's supposed to be a redo of that movie. I don't know if they did.
I think that they did one of those like CBS or NBC live plays of The Wiz, but I don't know if they were in it or not. Because and again, like I've been so hard set on this is In Vogue for the past 3 weeks that like I have had I wasn't even looking for clues really for this one. I was just writing them down so we could talk about them. But yeah, and it's just there's no way. Like, how do you make any other guess? Though I will say this: SWV was not one of the groups that I put down on my list last week, which they definitely should have been. Sisters with Voices. Definitely met that criteria for the 90s like sister groups. But yeah, it was that was the best guess out of all of them, of course, until they said En Vogue. But again, my guess for this was En Vogue. Everything
as was mine,
as was Corey's. So
yeah, I locked that in last week.
So this week it's not hard to figure out who's doing this thing. And then I was like, this is who's gonna win this thing, this is how it's gonna go down. And then they changed things up on us, and instead of having a normal showdown, the showdown was actually all 3 of them, because the prior showdowns were only the 2. Like, and I don't know, and I guess because they didn't want to do another episode would make sense, because they would have had to have done the 2, and then they would have had 2 left, and they would have to do another episode to get it down to just the 1. So instead of doing that, they had all 3 of them sing in the showdown, which I thought was pretty good. The song was a good choice. They all kind of good.
What they could have done was saying, all right, the person that got the most votes is blah, blah, blah. In this case, it would be Frog.
Right.
You're safe. You can go back, and then the other 2 have a shot. Well, I guess the other 2 would. I guess they wouldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah, and I thought of that too, and I was like, but then they would have just brought the 2 on, and both of them would have known that they were going to have to be unmasked. So what's the point of doing the showdown? So instead of
you could have said, I don't know. One of you, whoever has the lowest out of the 3 of you, is going to be in the final. Is going to be. Could be voted off, and then the other 2 have to do the sing off, and then whoever loses that goes up against.
There's no way. No, either way, they would have had to have another episode.
Actually, I'm just glad they did it this way, because I'll be totally honest. All of them singing together did, no jokes aside, all jokes aside, they all did sound really well together. I will say, though, that I felt that Cobra should have stayed, and Frog should have probably been gone. Maybe Rabbit.
That's the kicker. Like, I was just like, I know that the snakes are going to make it. Like the Queen Cobras are in. Like as soon as they sang their song, I was like, they're in. Like they rocked it. And then they did the sing off, or the showdown. And they're like, the bunny and the snakes. I'm like, what? I knew Bunny wasn't going to, but Frog, really? The Prince did?
Yeah,
I don't understand that at all.
I think the crowd really missed on this, because I felt we've already said it, En Vogue. I thought they sounded great, and they should have actually stayed. I thought they did a much better job than Frog. Not to say that Frog did anything bad.
Yeah.
I just felt that they were better.
Dude, when they sang their goodbye, whatever, their unmasked song, like they sounded so freaking good. Like I literally had to go back and go, okay, I need to put them back on my playlist because I forgot like how good they sound, and they rock that shit, dude. And it's like, and you picked them, you kicked them over the Frog. I get kicking Rabbit, but Frog, okay.
Right.
I think they just didn't want to have an all girl sing off. I think that's what it came down to. But so yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, the best you get it.
En Vogue gets unmasked as the Queen Cobras. I actually let me give them a little bit of praise. I have absolutely hated every last one of these like multi-person costumes because of they're annoying. They are absolutely annoying to me the way that they've been doing them. This one, the Hydra wasn't so bad, but I still didn't like that one either. But this is the first multi-person costume that I thought was good because they didn't just combine them into one big monstrous thing. Mm-hmm. And like I like the idea of playing around with like, oh, it's multiple people, oh, there's one, there's a second one, oh, there's a third one, but just having like a gigantic nesting doll with 3 people standing inside of it, like there's no way of even trying to figure out what's going on until the last moment. I like the way that they did this one. I hope that if they continue to do it, that they do it this way moving forward as well.
Yeah. Rabbit was also eliminated, and it turns out it was Shaggy. I kept waiting for Scooby to come on screen. Sadly, I was disappointed.
Unnecessary, but yes, as was guessed earlier, definitely was Shaggy. Jenny was on the right path, and she was going in the right direction with some of her guesses, and they do match with Sean Kingston. But you were wrong. I was right. Here we go. Yeah. That leaves again. I don't think he should have been. He definitely lost correctly to Queen Cobras, in my opinion, because they did unmask him first. But I think that him losing to Frog probably was the right answer too, because after Frog did his rendition of his last song, I thought he did a great job with that one too. And again, Shaggy was playing more on the musical side than he was on the rapping side. And I think that like when he started rapping in this episode, like you could definitely, he was hiding it, but you could definitely tell like he was a performer that does a lot of rapping in his music. But yeah, I think that was the right pick for him. I don't think they picked correctly with kicking off En Vogue. And then we'll see what ends up. We'll see if it's Jared Leto or Cheyenne Johnson come next week when the season finale happens.
Yep. So we got Firefly, Ringmaster, and Frog going up in the finals. And we'll see what happens. I already have 2. I have Ringmaster. I have Emily Osment as her. And then it's, of course, Jared Leto is a Frog. I don't have Firefly is a sore loser.
Right.
So we'll see if I'm right on any of those.
I've got her as Tiana Taylor. I've got the Ringmaster as the sister from the Goldbergs, because I can never remember how to pronounce her name. And then this Frog is Cheyenne Jackson from Glee / other shit that I only came across because I went down the worst rabbit hole in the world.
All right, we'll see what happens next week. On behalf of Vic,
that's me.
I'm Corey. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.
See ya!